Greetings, wild ones, wildlings, and indigo brothers and sisters. I'm just going to do a random rant today. It's something on my mind. It's a subject that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time now, and it's about divorce and how it affects the modern family, divorce, and the role that feminism has played on that, and the effect that feminism, the feminist movement, has had on that. And so I'm just doing the ironing while I talk about this subject. Just bear with me. I have to multitask for most of my videos because I'm very busy. I'm a very busy mother with kids, and but I'm not going to let it get in the way of doing what I love to do, which is talk on YouTube. So I'm going to multitask while I'm doing this. Just doing ironing my daughter's school uniform. And yeah, because the reason the subject I want to talk about the subject is because it's had a really negative effect on my life. My parents separated when I was very young, and then my grandparents also divorced after. I went through what I can remember and know of. I went through 8 foster homes before my grandparents eventually took me around about the age of 8. Between the age of 8 and 9, my grandparents took legal guardianship of me. But I suspect that I've been through at least 12 foster homes actually. When my parents had me, and to be quite honest, that was a really traumatic experience for a kid to go through. And these days it's quite normal. I've noticed it's more and more and more children are ending up in foster care, and they've got no chance in life. But anyway, a lot of families we know, like families and friends that my kids know at school, they're all getting divorced. And it's really sad because I think a lot of times they think they're doing the right thing, but in today's society it's like a throwaway society nowadays. People don't want to try anymore. They don't want to make it work. You know, if the husband or wife gets in an argument and they get fed up, it's like straight away, well, let's get a divorce. Or they don't even tell each other. They just get fed up one day and divorce. And the problem with that is they give up too easily. But it's the kids that I feel sorry for. I think a lot of times it's for selfish reasons. These parents are doing it for purely selfish reasons. It could be money. It could be... It's just a lot of times it's superficial reasons. And, you know, they could make a go of it. And it's too easy to just not even try and just say, well, I'm mad at you one day or pissed off with you and get a divorce. And it really affects the children. It gives the children a very insecure environment, because then they're it's very insecure for the children, because then they have to swap homes, that they have to share, they have parents fighting and squabbling, and it causes stress and trauma on the young child. And how I know is because I've been through it. So a lot of times you see families, they've got plenty of money, they've got good jobs, good careers, and it is purely for selfish reasons that they divorce. It's not like a necessity. Okay, if the husband's violent and beating up the woman or vice versa, fair enough. You have to get out of that situation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the petty stuff. People don't want to work out relationships anymore, and it's easier for them to go, this doesn't work, and throw away the key. It's easy, and there's more incentive, because especially for the woman, there's a big payout, so there's more incentive to think that she doesn't need a husband anymore. Husbands become redundant almost, because women make just as much as men do these days, and the roles in a traditional family has switched. So the woman thinks that she's doesn't need the man anymore, and it is more independent. So if the husband pisses her off one day, it's like, well, let's just get a divorce. I don't need that loser anymore. I can do everything that a man can, almost. The sad fact is you can't replace a father figure in the home. You can't. And children, especially young ones, or not even especially young ones, even more so when they're a teenager, they need that. They need that balance. They need to have a father figure. They need to have, especially boys, they need that father in the home. They need that balance. And they need that authority. That's why so many kids are going off the rails, because they come from single, solo mother households. And most boys don't have any respect for that. And that's what a father figure is to enforce authority. So you have no authority once you get rid of the father. And I think it's going to produce a lot of really, really traumatised, stressed, depressed, confused kids. Just because the parents are selfish and they're only thinking about their own needs. They're not actually thinking. When most parents get divorced, guarantee they're not actually thinking about the kids. They're thinking about their own needs. And it's so easy, like I said, it's become a throwaway society, takeaway society. So marriage is just another commodity these days, especially to women, because there's more incentive on a woman's side to divorce a man, especially if he does happen to be the main breadwinner, and she can out him, take the kids and get paid child support or whatever. But no one actually considers the effect this has on the children, and it's the children that I feel sorry for, because they lose their security and their identity straight away when this happens, and then when they're moved from home to home, because then, you know, they have to share the kids a lot of times. If the wife doesn't just take over completely and takes the kids, then they miss out on a father altogether, or they have to put up with the stepfather. It could be abusive. So trust goes all out the window. The kids no longer have trust. They no longer have security. It doesn't matter how much money they have. This is what will happen. And I blame feminism for this. A lot of this. Because I believe, and I was brought up, my grandmother was one of the first feminists in Australia. So I know all about feminists. And I came out like the complete opposite. I just totally rebelled and became everything that probably she would have hated. But yeah, feminism was one of the major causes for a lot of destroying a lot of families. Because when women were, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be given equal rights, they should, but when they were given the idea that they no longer needed a man, this is where families started to fall apart. And that their career, their job was more important than being a good mother, being a good wife. This is where it affects the children, because the most important job in the world and the most prestigious role you could ever have is to be a mother, to be a good mum and to be a good wife and to take care of your family. And that role and identity was taken away from women when the feminist movement came about. And the irony of the feminist movement was that it was paid for by the Rockefeller family, supported it and paid for it. Even my grandmother wouldn't know this information. And the whole goal behind it was so that they could have two people in the workforce. Nothing to do with, it had nothing to do with equality. That was just like the incentive to get women into the workforce. And what incentive would you have to get women into the workforce? Money, of course, because you have more slaves. you now have the women at work. And that's what it was all about. Did it actually make things better? I'm not sure if it did for women or men. I think it was a great ploy to destroy and break up the traditional family. When you want a workforce full of obedient slaves, then you're in full control. Because then the government owns those children. They end up in foster care, which is government care, and they get full control. And you have a destabilised society, weakened society, because you've weakened the family unit, and therefore you have more control, because then the government then owns the solo mother, who's probably on benefits, and the children. The man has no place in that role anymore. He doesn't even have any rights over his own children. The government has more rights. And that's all thanks to the feminist movement that was set up by the Rockefeller family. And that was the main purpose behind it. And I would say it's been responsible for the destruction of the traditional family unit. And support of this traditional family unit, which children don't have anymore. If you're coming from a divorced family, you don't have that support anymore. In fact, they probably don't even trust their parents anymore after that. So who can you trust? Causes anxiety, causes learning difficulties. And that's because of feminism, giving women the right to be able to say, I don't need a man and I can make my own money. And it's destroyed the traditional family. Plus, they're shit mothers, because all they care about is themselves and their career. It's created a whole race of really selfish women who have no right to have children, because they're all they care about is their career. The grandparents end up looking after the kids, not even the mother, because the mother's always at work. All she cares about, like I said, is her career. That's all she gives a shit about. Couldn't give a toss about the kids. The kids are just, a commodity, like bloody the car is. It's just something you do. A lot of these women, career women, I don't believe should have kids, because they're never there for their kids. And some of the kids probably don't even know what a home-cooked meal looks like. They probably all just live on takeaways. Anyway, that's my rant about feminism and divorce. And I've finished my ironing now. Yeah, it's terrible. Divorce is terrible. The effects that it has on kids is terrible. And I think people need to try harder not to get divorced. Go get counselling, go do what you have to do. But think of the bloody kids, for God's sakes, because it's the kids' lives that end up getting destroyed. What, because of your selfish wants and needs? And they the ones who end up suffering. And it does affect them. They end up with anxiety, they end up with learning difficulties, they end up suffering depression. And it's all because of the feminist movement and the throwaway society we have today, where people think relationships are like fast food. If you like cars, relationships are like cars. What, you know, if you're sick of it, you just trade it in for another one. It's just a society we now live in, and it's really, really sad. Anyway, I have to go now. Much love, and I'll see you in the next one.